famous writer. Joyce and Yeats can eat it. And he wrote under a number of names. His real name was Brian O'Nolan, but he also wrote as Miles Nagopaline. For many years he wrote a column in the Irish Times called Cruiskeen Lawn, and he got that column by writing a letter of complaint in the newspaper. Perhaps the most successful response to a complaint in the history of all writing letters of complaints into newspapers. So I thought on today's illustrious day, when we've sacrificed credulity to believe in an antique anniversary for a marketing exercise in a company that doesn't really make beer over here anymore, that it'd be appropriate to dedicate a poem to, not a poem, to dedicate a piece to a man who wrote a poem about the blacksmith and about many other things. So this is a piece originally written for Piranha magazine, which is a satire magazine in Trinity, and it didn't run because we didn't get a second one because the first one was too filthy. But basically it's in his style, so it's more of an homage than a satire. So anyway, sure, we'll try it. We'll see how it goes. There exists a certain character that I, in my capacities as a scientist, and you, the simple students of Ireland, are well acquainted with. Heading home to Laois, Maynooth or Skibbereen on the bus errand, and not too fancy for it, thank you very much, one regularly encounters this nefarious individual. Indeed, it must be said, must it? It must, for what else could it be? That the fellow has been the baneful plague, from birds to swine to men, and so it goes, of our existence. Your journey starts, as may be expected, and as June and July and August be expected. Cheddar sandwich wrapped and ready for the 10-minute nose powdering break at a thigh. Why is it, tell me, that noses one and all become so dramatically and instantaneously in need of powdering at this point in the journey, when till then they have survived naked and leaky as nature intended, shall remain eternally a mystery. Plastic bottle of Fanta orange, sealed and still between the folds of a grand towel for your fingers, and miles ahead, the mammy in her idling hatchback, waiting to take you those last 6 miles of lane and eerie scraping hedges, home to milky tea and warm electric blankets. The beast in question attends his work a mere 15 minutes into the journey, just as the mumbling susurrus of the autobus, its gentle to and fro and comfortable eggy guff, seem all set to lull Dame Binchy's large print pages asleep in your lap. Can I blame me? Can you blame me? And you the same, he asks. Achni in Kiro Gella, he says, and sure I'll leave you alone if you leave me alone. Be gob, wouldn't you think Keats himself had set to write a naturalistic sonnet? The bore is at his work, and no reasonable or accepted limits of battery power or telephone credit can be expected to temper his idle banter. At first, thinks you, it's the young one your man is on to, and isn't it an argument they're having? Indeed, it seems the devil himself has set the task of confounding your quite reasonable curiosity, when suddenly he says, well, mind us both, and bless us and save us on that same confounding call. Well, sure isn't she your own wife and my mother, and isn't it our job to look after her? A pause. Well, sure I'm glad I'm not related to you in any way the way you go on. And, well, it'd be rude of us not to go to the funeral, considering he was your brother and mine. At this line, be it parallel, Euclidean, or Lobachevskian, you, the simple students of Ireland, will each independently, sure who votes for the parties anymore, aren't they all the same, have arrived at one conclusion. The fella on the phone is engaged in bigamy, inappropriate affectations of the worst order, and an argumentative old sod to boot. The whole thing would be laughable were it not so tragic. Is it any wonder you turn to your neighbour and whisper, "Don't mind me, Daddy, he can't risk the bus at all till he's had a sip." It's a lot funnier if you've read his column. But I'm going to read one more piece, and
excuse me, that was very, very, very good. You reminded me of.
Thank you very much. You're a kind fella. Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you.
A very young age. Very, very, very good.
So I'm going to read one more piece, and given the cohort of the room, I just explained that this piece might offend you, but if you've ever wondered what it's like to go to a music festival, this is what it's like. This was originally, some of it was published in Ambach magazine, but the rest of it's from my own website, which is called Marshmallow Ladyboy Jesus.
Oh, great.
So just to give you an idea, listen to this. On one row from the front, roiling in the day-glow plastic drug mental of a Chemical Brothers set, when a pill warrior, 8 feet tall on platform boots, his vari-coloured dreads a rain of snakes, his woman, writhing property between his legs, turns and grasps my hand. This is it, man. This is it. This is it. I flash my fiend face and we nod together. This is it. The moment for which a generation sell their synapses. Submit to decades of Paxil and hazy confusion, the apocryphal pumping heart of the love buzz, hours of ritual escape. With a head full of high-grade acid, I bilocate, simultaneously pulsing in the maelstrom of orange wedge, whilst observing, coldly, intellectually, academically, the dissolution of the social barricades and the iconic imagery of repression, confusion and alienation with which Rowlands and Simons bind this 35,000-strong horde. Above us, dual 50-foot screens, machine gun line drawings of blindfolded justice, animations of marching armies, blanketing bombers, troops of robots shuffling ceaselessly forward, the expressionless drolls of Oceania, suddenly subverted by colour, till the images fall away, the screens a translucent cagework of industrial magnificence. The brothers chemical beneath them, wizards behind a curtain of Bond villain computer cabinets, blinking banks of lights looming behind vast curtain decks. We are utterly in their thrall, baying and pawing at the air, frightened, excited animals beneath a demonic fireworks display. And as a random girl, no doubt pickled in some vast tank of pure drug, molests me like a Boy Scout at a Turkish bathhouse. I wonder if this is not the ultimate discourse of control, rebellion sublimated to an audiovisual indoctrination, cooked up in some NSA laboratory by stern, mustachioed, deeply patriotic monsters. Oh my God, what have I done? All I wanted was a little fun. Got a brain like bubblegum, blowing up my cranium. Do it again. We stumble. Acoustic bus bomb survivors, strung out and heartbroken. The breeze tosses streamers of fast food into the faces of the fallen, sweeps away the peptide bond, scatters us, colliding, smiling, throw away freaky conversations and dusty explanations. Chemical Brothers. Back at the campsite, we jitter, flayed and burning for the night to swing the way it always promises, but never quite delivers, and pour again into the dark and mount the whiskey dreidel Ferris wheel to stand, yelling into the dying night. Hippies gather by their firesides. Artists put the cooing fields in steampunk Batman cars and post-apocalyptic costumes. Scaniers climb the fences back the way they came, and somewhere infinitely far away, Eurotrash DJs with schmigs and titled daddies retire to Bedouin tents and slipstream trailers to tap A-grade toddy and hoof from soft, endless crystal mounds. We sit around our tents, hemming a van, overhearing Townes Van Sant, choking Jameson from pikey clay cups and picnic-branded plastic mugs. Next year we say, we'll do it right. We'll do it again.